Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. I am super sleepy zonks. I have had horrible insomnia for days. Finally managed to overhaul it a little bit by making myself sleep longer today, but had horrible nightmares the entirety of the time. Truly horrible nightmares. So today, I'm going to tell you how amazing my day was yesterday because it was absolutely outstanding. Do pardon my looking messy and disheveled, but let's just be honest, I usually do. So, we're going to start off with early in the morning. Like I said, insomnia. Suboptimal at best. So, I wake up at about 6 in the morning, can't fall back asleep. So, I decide to edit my video that I had already recorded. I exported it, and then I decided that while it was exporting, I was going to go and get a car battery because, ha ha ha, my car battery died. And I think it was because one of the lights must have been triggered. I noticed the car trunk was closed, but not entirely. It was slightly ajar, which may have been triggering for a series of days while I wasn't using my car, the car lights to be on, or at least one of the lights to be on, and it just drained the whole battery. It was just 100% dead on Thursday when I tried to start it to go to work. Truly unfortunate. But I decided, AutoZone, it's like half a mile away from the house. I'll walk over there, grab a backpack, go grab a battery, grab a couple tools, and then I'll, head back, start trying to fix the car. Because I don't have money to actually, hire people to just fix a car battery for me. If I can diagnose that it's the battery, and I was hoping it was the battery, because there was no power supply to anything, I can configure to fix a battery enough. Like, it's probably the only thing I'm comfortable with a car is the more technological elements of it, or the more electrical elements of it, versus the mechanical. So at about 8 in the morning, I'm walking to AutoZone, and it's not a bad walk at all, I could even run over there. Then I get in there, and I spend about $300 to get the tools, the battery, 2-year warranty, I think, on there, and some jumper cables for the future, because I know eventually I'm going to need some jumper cables, and I don't have any. So I got the brackets, or the sockets, or whatever you call them, and it's funny, because I literally don't even know what the tools are called. I just know that I need them. So I'm telling the guy, I'm, listing off all the stuff I needed. I needed for a car model I have, I listed the bracket dimensions, because I do know, at least, to have the model numbers for batteries and the dimensions for the brackets needed, and, the basics. The basics of the basics of the basics. So it's 8 in the morning, and I walk over there, grab it, and then I haul it. And I decide to haul it on my back, in my backpack. And I gotta say, it's impressive. I used to haul a lot of stuff on my back. 50, 60, 70 pounds on my back all the time. I used to go to school, I used to do grocery shopping across town. I'd walk the entirety of all the way across town with, groceries in my backpack and my hands, because I used to not have a car. So I was like, okay, we'll go back to the good old days. Dang, man, those batteries are heavy. Either I'm weak, or they're just heavy. So I kind of overcorrected, I think. I was basically leaning forward a lot to kind of pull this battery, this liquid charge on my back. And it wasn't the worst, because again, half a mile, really not that far, but it was just enough to make me feel like, I'm going to regret this later, mainly in a musculature sense, more than a joint issue sense. So I get to the car, and I start ripping out all the tools. I go and grab my toolbox, some little tools, screwdriver, stuff like that. I remove the air thingy that's on top of it. I remove all kinds of weird parts to get to the battery, because you have to move other things to get to the thing you need. It's like computers nowadays. It's like you gotta rip everything apart just to get to the freaking RAM. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I don't know why people design these things this way, but the car is an older model, so it's really not my place to be like, oh, cars these days. It's actually the fact that it's this is just how it's built. It's suboptimal. I'll say that much. It's suboptimal. But anyways, the battery, I start working on it. I start loosening the stuff, and then my neighbor sees me doing it, and he decides, hey, I'm gonna help you, because we're comrades basically, or whatever. We both have worked in the restaurant industry. We both hate it. We both hate being poor, or being on the lower end of income, or whatever. And the area I'm in, everybody isn't making millions of dollars. We're just staying afloat, and I don't know how. But you know what? I end up in this beautiful situation of having my magical neighbor just show up. And I'm like, this is the time I wish I had a father. Because if he could have taught me one thing, it would have been not to deal with men, or how to deal with men. It would have been how to change a car battery, or fix my own cars. That way I don't have to pay $1,000 to get somebody to do something very minute and simplistic for my car. But luckily enough, my neighbor showed up and helped me try and like get the battery out. It was much easier having an individual assist. So, advice. If you're ever in the mode of wanting to try and change out a car battery, by all means, you can certainly do it with a couple of YouTube tutorials. But the one thing you'll probably want is maybe somebody to help you guide that battery in there or do something of that matter, because it just makes the process so much easier. I'm really grateful to have that stroke of luck. It's like, maybe 9 in the morning, somewhere in that neck of the woods by this point in time, maybe 9:30, and he's like, I'm gonna go for a walk, and then I'll come back and help you, and then he starts helping me, and by the end of the stint, by around 10:30ish, we have it all done. Literally, the whole car battery in there, and with a few electrical shocks on accident because we were fucking around too much. The result was great. It was great, and I got my car back on track, which is fantastic. I then did some cardio, and then I went to yoga with my older sister. She's pregnant. Congratulations! I'm very excited. She's like halfway through the pregnancy, and I could not be happier for her. I hope that she has a genius of a child. I will make sure they stay away from TikTok. I will make sure that they read only the good stuff, and then they will try and, misappropriate my intentions thinking that it is dogmatic, and then they will rebel through using TikTok and not reading. But hey, it'll be worth a go. That, or they'll use TikTok and become an idiot anyways, so I mean, either way, win-lose, hopefully she just gets smart. So that's the dealio with that, which is nice. But I go and see her, we go to yoga, it was a pretty chill session. I stretched out the muscles that I had so laboriously collapsed with my battery backpack, and then I went to Whole Foods with her, blew more money, of course. We spent some money there, and I just grabbed a few groceries, mostly like pastas, bonito flakes, little dealios. But it was, it wasn't that bad, but it was still nah. It was a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but groceries are expensive everywhere now. Like, I've not seen that many good deals on groceries. Most of the time, unless you really are smart where you're buying stuff, it's expensive these days, which is truly unfortunate, because I think we should promote to people to kind of stimulate more of an economic status as well, to be going and buying a bunch of groceries instead of going to, like, fast food and stuff. But that's just my opinion. Whatever. I don't really know the economy particularly well, but I do know that it's better and more fun to make your own food. So anyways, I do that. I get home. I make some apple pie for my neighbor who helps me as a thank you. I then also get ready for a date. It was pretty fun. My date was with some guy. Just a guy. Went to a restaurant, had a drink. Then I still chilled on Greenville while I waited for an Uber, while I had another drink, and maybe another drink. I was just kind of venturing around on there. I just kind of wanted to see what the area was about, so I was like, yeah, let's just bounce around. It's a Friday night, there are tons of people, so let's just kind of play our hand. And then I got home, and I was kind of drunk, and I was kind of feeling like crap, so I ate food, and I fell asleep. And then I proceeded to have horrible, horrible nightmares. But, it was pretty cool. The restaurant I ended up going to after, I went to get another drink, and I told the bartender that he could make me anything. Anything he wanted as long as it wasn't too sweet. And he made me this, like, rum-based lychee drink, and it was actually really good. Like, it was also a mojito, like, it was, like, mint pounded into there. It was really good. I think it was just a mojito, but it was, like, a lychee mojito. Really fun. He was a cool dude, and tipped him about 25%, and I left, and yeah, that was like the day. It was alright. It was good to learn how to do a car battery. I need to learn more car stuff. I think the plan's going to be at least to know how to diagnose my car issues, how to rip things apart, play with suspension maybe, I don't know. I don't know what anything is. I know I'll never be able to be on the level of, like, transmission rebuilding. Maybe I can, but I don't think so. Stuff like that. But I would like to at least be able to do my oil, my tires, my battery, anything electrical more than mechanical, but even some mechanical components, maybe the starter or something, I don't know. But as long as I'm more competent with vehicles, and through doing you become more competent, I think it's good to at least be in that neck of the woods just because it's so expensive. Car stuff, so expensive. And I literally panicked because there was one instance of time when we were putting in the battery that we decided to test it, but it wasn't all the way in. And the feelings of fear washed over me as the car didn't really start. And I thought to myself, I don't have enough money to like get more work done on this car. Literally, I have no money for this car. So if I lose it, like it's gone. Like if it's done, it's done. So I was like freaking out, and then we readjusted the battery, and then it worked, which was great. But the point I'm trying to make to you guys is that it's not decent. You know, it's not good to be that concerned about a vehicle, but it's the sustaining of livelihood. So I get it. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make to you is I really am endeavoring to try every single day to make the best of it through learning new skills, becoming more competent, utilizing my time, and I don't do that all the time. I do waste a lot of time, and I'm trying to work on that. I think I'm going to do a little stint of sobriety, no drinking, probably for a month, just to kind of see how I feel. It won't be very difficult, but I definitely don't want to be drinking for a while. I'm surprised because I was pretty drunk, but I'm not hungover, and I usually expect to be hungover, but I'm not hungover, and I often am not, which is not good. It means I'm an alcoholic. So that needs to stop. No, but on a legitimate basis, I don't know, I have a really high alcohol tolerance. So it's wasteful of money, it's wasteful of time. I'm just going to take a break from the drinky drops and see how I feel. And I'm sure I'll feel much better and I'll have more time. The thing is, I think I'm going to overhaul my schedule. Even if I'm working late, still get up at 7 in the morning, maybe earlier. I'm not sure yet. Depends on the day. Just because if I'm obviously getting up at, 7, but I went to bed at 2 because I worked until 1, then we're going to have a little bit of a kerfuffle, but it'll be worth it. So I'm going to overhaul, start my programming journey because now the car stuff's out of the way, a few other dealios are out of the way, so I think it's about time that we did a little bit of programming. I am excited, but yeah, I don't really have a ton to talk about today. Suggest to me a video, just because I'm not too sure what I want to do for the next video. I do have some ideas, so I'm not particularly concerned, but I do enjoy other people's input. So by all means, my people, tell me what you want in the comments below, and I will make it happen. Anyways, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I hope you all enjoyed. I know it was kind of short, but I'm also short, so it fits. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your night, evening, daytime, whenever this is up, and whenever you're seeing it. And, yeah, it's been good. Slater.